about to do a feature on the Hypnotic Brass Ensemble, who have just released their brand new album, Book of Soul, or is it Book of Sound? Book of Sound, thank you, Dan. It's just come out, and it's one of the records of the year. Anyway, Honest Johns and several members of the family, Philip Cohran's family, because the Hypnotic Brass Ensemble is made up of, I think it's 7 children of Philip Cohran, who passed away this year, real important person in the Chicago scene. And he passed away, but the spirit of his energy and his life is very much there in the new album. So we spoke to Sid and Baji and Tariq from the family.
We're Hypnotic Brass Ensemble. We're here with Gilles Peterson.
Let's try that again.
Six
guys.
Music. All right, yeah, this is Kid Sid from Hypnotic.
Tariq.
This is Baji, Hypnotic Brass all day.
We're the sons of Phil Cohran, Blood Brothers, a family band that's been going for the last decade and a half. We're the founders of the modern brass movement, making horns cool again, making jazz bad again. And we write all our own music, which is a fusion of jazz, hip-hop, funk, soul, and all the elements, reggae, soca even, rock and roll, blues.
Classical.
If you look at our discography, our first record was 2001, the Flipside. Then we had the Green album. It was 4 color albums, like 2 years apart, all of them producing ourselves. Then we had our Best Of with Honest Johns, which was like the culmination of all of those tunes and recorded well, feature artists and musicians. And so as a band, we've got known as like the live, energetic sound, like hip hop, flows on top of the music, solos, crowd surfing, all of that. But with this record, we wanted to get back to our roots.
Yeah.
Sort of like when you look at a religion, you have the practitioners of every day, and then you have the orthodox, true, strict, deep, believers. And this record was for our orthodox Hypnotic fans. Our father, Phil Cohran, was the inspiration for this record. He passed right when we were done recording it, and that was totally unexpected. But we were trying to produce a record as his students. He's our father, but he's also our teacher. And the first thing we learned, all of us was like 5, 6 years old. Smooth was 3 when he first started playing. And the first word he wrote on the chalkboard in music class was discipline. And from there, he went into the principles of music. And there was 3 things that it takes to make music. You know what those are? Sound, rhythm, and form. Without all 3 of those together, is not music. That small thing stuck with us, and those are like the principles of the record that we deal with on here. And in 1968, our father took his whole band and meditated and went right from that and recorded on the beach. So Eugene Easton, that saxophone solo in there, like you almost hear him talking to you with that sax. You can't say the words that he's saying, but they achieve the transference of sound into thought. So in us dealing with the Book of Sound, we're trying to deal with the principles of how sound affects the human mind. We also used to study the anatomy of the human ear. We have these little things that pick up cilia, that pick up sound. Everything we hear is in pitch and tone. There are 7 million of them. There's 1 million for each note process. So everything we hear is one of those 7 notes. So say if you hear a variation of E, E flat, they used to call that the serpent note. That does something to your brain and program and memory. There's things that we move with this note and that note. And so in dealing with that, this record, that's what we're trying to do, is get back into the programming of the mind towards power. As a band, we've been independent for a long time. We work with Honest Johns. We work with a lot of bigger artists. We work with Prince when he was here. Damon always brings us in. Did the Pretty Wing stuff with Maxwell, Wu-Tang. We've been lately getting to that hard point, that rough patch, to where once, our dad said, once you can make it beyond that, you had the rest of your career before you. And he always taught us that when you get into a hard point, in the old days, they were calling their ancestors for help. That's another thing this record is about, is playing to our ancestors and asking for their help and support in the next stage of our journey. It's built for other people when you need to call on your ancestors. You have a soundtrack for it. It has so many functions as in the programming of sound to your mind and activity, and that's what this record is about.
Growing up in Chicago is strange because it's a tough city. You know, like they always used to say, you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I believe you can actually tough through the struggles and just the day-to-day life of Chicago, and to actually still have your name being said amongst tongues around the world. That's a harder struggle. It's like you have to take every day with a grain of salt. If you take it heavier than a grain of salt, then you're carrying too much of a load with everything else you have to deal with.
And that's another thing, being in Chicago, younger children always listen to their parents' music. So everybody in Chicago has a taste that's beyond their years. We was Isley Brothers fans. We were learning Beethoven and Duke Ellington's A-Train and Caravan from written music, and then at nighttime sneaking and listening to Eazy-E, you know what I mean? Like, it was just from everything. And then in the daytime, like 80s rock, Tears for Fears type stuff. Like, our influences is so wild and crazy. And a little bit of Pimpers Paradise, Bob Marley, Stevie Wonder, old school. Curtis Mayfield, all of that was just inspiring us. And as a band, Hypnotic, specifically once we got older, Wu-Tang became a real big influence of ours. Not just as a hip-hop act, but we related to it as a group of 9 dudes, which is the big band is coming back. But when we started, like in 99, 2000, it wasn't really a lot of huge bands. It's like one guy would bring a lot of people together, but it wasn't a set member of all these guys. So Wu-Tang was a big influence. 36 Chambers, that first one, because we was listening to that, thinking up, putting together Hypnotic as a band.
Take you on this lyrical high real quick. 1993 exoticness. You know what I'm saying? Let's get technical. Where's your bone at? Get up on that shit, alright? Yo! Started off on the island, AK shit. Wailing, gunshots thrown and phone dialing. Back in the days, I'm 8 now, making a tape now. Ray gotta get a plate now. Ignorant and mad young, wanted to be the one till I got loud. Felt one. Yeah, my pops was a fiend since 16, shooting that's that shit in his bloodstream. That's the life of a crimey, real life crimey. If you know the habits behind me. Day 1, yo, growing all up in the ghetto. Now I'm a weed fiend, jetting the palmetto. In Medina, yo, no doubt. The guard got crazy clout, pushing a big joint from down south. So if you're filthy stacked up, better watch your back and duck, cause these fiends, they got it cracked up. Now my man from up north, now he got the law. It's solid as a rock and crazy soft. No jokes, I'm not playing. Get his folks, Desert Eagle is and put him in a yoke. And the note for sure, I got wreck and rip shot. I pointed a gat at his mother's knot. Word out. Dedicated to the winners and the losers. Dedicated to all Jeeps and Land Cruisers. Dedicated to the 5s, 850i. Dedicated to through drive-bys. Dedicated to the Lexus and the Axe. Dedicated to MPVs. Yo, kicking the fly cliches, doing duets with Ray and A. Happens to make my day. Though I'm tired of busting off shots, having the rock knots, running up in spots and making shit hot. I'd rather flip shows instead of those hanging on my living room wall. My first joint and it went gold. I want a lamp, I want to be in the shade, plus a spotlight, getting my all night. I wanna have me a fat yacht and enough land to go and plant my own cess crops. But for now it's just a big dream, cause I find myself in a place where I'm last seen. My thoughts must be relaxed, be able to maintain, cause times has changed and life is strange. The glorious days is gone and everybody's doing bad. Yo, mad lives is up for grabs. Brothers passing away, I gotta make wakes, receiving all types of calls from upstate. Yo, I can't cope with the pressure, settling for lesser. The God left lessons on my dresser so I can bloom and blossom, find a new way, continue to make more hits with Ray and A. Sunshine plays a major part in the daytime. Peace to mankind, ghost face, carry a black 9. Word up, it's on like that.
Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then? Can it be that it was all so simple then?
We just played Arch Space at East London first, which is a small venue, maybe even like 200, 240 cap, something like that max. And then we just did London 02 2 days. Both days, the 4th and the 5th, with just an all-star team. Damon is a genius for bringing them together. Everybody from De La Soul to Little Simz, Yassine Bey,
Booty Brown,
Pusha T. Just people from around the world who are aficionados in they craft. See, in America, you don't get a lot of the international music until it just turns damn near to pop or something. When we see UK artists, it's always in some festival, the O2 and stuff like that. Like the performance energy is live.
I can't stand artists who records actually are big when you listen to it in the club, but seeing them on stage, it's like, really, I mean, what are you giving other than a song that we can listen to at home? Lil Simz, she upped the ante. I give big ups to her.
Oh, palace flows, rain falls from the heavens to my palace rooftop. When the light shines through it, I feel more exposed. Will it ever change here? We just never know. Stimulation I'm in need of. See, the time is of the essence, and this clock doesn't own a home. Rain falls from the heavens to my palace rooftop. When the light shines through, I feel more exposed. In tune with myself, on it, my mind is my weakness. With a strength, you might surprise yourself. Never deny yourself, and living in space is my thesis. I know you need this. I'm prone to run out of pieces that might connect to something bigger. All in your mind can follow me, you should consider. Look at the time, I'm probably later than ever. What did you find? We're coming here and dealing with pressure. I looked to the heavens and I saw open gates. I walked up and then I paused. What the fuck did you do this for? Wish me luck when that midnight falls. Memories of a past life. Can this be this is our time? Can this be this is our time? Come on. In stillness, now to the world if you feel this. Trapped in my mind, hope I can find solitude when connecting all of these pieces. I know you need this, unfold and unleash the beast. Unknown is what I would be if my whole purpose here wasn't to speak. Now look at the time, I know that I am early today. What did you find when giving up and running away? Gates to the stars in this view can't be shared with no other eyes in this room. Mean the words when you sing your tune. Free as a bird when I intake fumes. Memories of this past life. Can it be this is our time? Can it be this is our time? Come on.
We performed at Maida Vale in 2010. It was dope. I'm trying to think. I know we did Rainbows maybe. Because see, at that time we were recording a cover record, which we're doing part 2 to that one right now, too, recorded in Ireland. So, yeah, I remember that session. It was dope. We was on a long tour. It was almost sleep till we started, and it was like, go. And then we was extra live and up and on, and then right back to resting after that. as well, we having our Bad Boys of Jazz record coming out, and it's our rapping stuff, our singing stuff, like a totally different left field. So we don't want to put out the record and people like, oh, well, where's the jazzy stuff? Hypnotic, where's the authentic, smooth, take you to space, cosmic energy? You have Hypnotic on the billing, and we do a great live show that to a lot of people would be like kind of left field than what they used to. We getting everybody up and live, so it's like we kind of got over the years this moniker, the Bad Boys of Jazz. And at first we thought that was something new or big, but we've been looking back into Miles Davis' life story, even Louis Armstrong, like all of them was bad boys. So we just bringing back the Bad Boys thing, and that's why we use Good Boys for the Book of Sound, give our teacher credit, and we just wanted to go in that direction, and we're going to continue to. That's going to be a whole vein of recordings. We're going to do the Book of Rhythm. We're going to do the Book of Form. Sort of like the books of the Bible. We're going to steady put them out, the Gospel of Barnabas, all of that. And so that's just the first volume.